So here we are in New Zealand, we're on the top of the South Island in Blenheim. I'm Russell from Mulberry Heavy Diesel, and this is Patrick. Patrick's been with me for 6 months now, finishing off his apprenticeship, getting ready to be fully qualified. We're going to do a truck tour of 2016 Nissan Navara STX. Small but mighty, yeah. But it's something to do, and yeah, we'll go through it. The reason I'm in this truck is because it was my own vehicle, and when the company I was at closed down, I set up and there was an opportunity to jump and go in on my own. And I suppose anyone can just get in and do it, and this is what is proving what that is don't be afraid to take a chance and jump in and do it. Fake it till you make it.
Australia and New Zealand. Tool availability is rough, prices are crazy, and a lot of the good stuff still doesn't make it to your side of the world. So we're working on it. Tekamo is looking for a select group of resellers and serious tool stores in Australia and New Zealand to carry the big Chooch and the rest of the Tekamo tool collection as it rolls out. If you own a tool store, work with one, or know someone that should carry this stuff, nominate them. Contact us at resellers@tekamo.com. The big Chooch was just the start. We've only just begun.
So on the front of the ute, we've got a bull bar. We call them a bull bar in New Zealand and Australia, and that's just a bit of frontal protection. You can have a winch mount in there, hold your light bar so you don't get stuck. Also aerial mounts. So we've got 2 aerials in there, one's for a cell phone booster because the cell phone reception can be patchy, and the other one is just for a 5-watt radio. So this is the tool side of the toolbox. I've got Stacker Safer box, which Safer seems to be the strongest boxes you find over here at a good price. So in here we've got pliers, snap-on side cutters. It's a funny story about these snap-on wire strippers. I was working on a Merlot telehandler that had brakes that were broken in it. Pulled the cover off, and hidden down on the front axle was these pliers. There's no rust on them, and it was the best score I've ever found on site. We've also got some needle nose pliers, snap ring pliers, snap-on circlet pliers. Not a heap, but yeah, I tried to start upgrading to snap-on where I could.
Do you guys have dealers out here then?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, the dealer in Nelson, actually, he's closed up. But when he first started, that poor bugger got smashed with everybody's warranty tools from like 15 years where we never had a dealer. So a guy I was working with had like a whole plastic tote full of broken tools. He turns up for his first visit to the company and just dumped all these broken tools. I need these warranted.
You're waiting for the next dealer to come.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the next victim. And here we have all the small sockets. So we've got 1/2 inch and 3/8. So the majority of the sockets that I'm running in here is Ting, which is was a German brand. It then became Taiwanese. I've had these for 17 years and abused them daily. They run on rattle guns. There's no such thing as a socket that can't be run on a rattle gun, and they're still copping the abuse now. Got a old school Koken 1/2 inch ratchet, which has been my go-to for probably the last 10 years. Snap-on 3/8 drive ratchet, which I left on, so that'll be flat in the morning. Various extensions, deep throat sockets, tools that we've adjusted in the lathe just to make it do a certain job. That was just a normal socket which I spun the back end out of so that we could get some bell housing bolts out of a New Holland tractor. All sorts of seals and carry on in this drawer. Torque wrench, 1/2 inch drive torque wrench. Some of the best ones I've bought, which is snap-on oval bearing punches, so you don't damage up bearings when you're banging them in. Spanner drawer. There's a mixture of Ting, butchered, plenty of butchered spanners to get around corners where you need to. Out on site, you just got to make it work. So these are a Barco crescent. They're exactly the same as a snap-on crescent, but they're half the price. Same manufacturer, you lay them side by side, and same factory, and you cannot see the difference. But they double up not too bad. You can spin it around and turn it into a pipe wrench where you need to. Back to the butchered tools for doing cane cutters on a grape harvester. So it was a Star Willy 21mm socket and made up a 4-pin piece to go in the end. You just got to do what you've got to do to get by. So that was a middle of the night job. I think that was about 2 in the morning, sitting in the workshop going, how am I going to get this apart? So quickly spun up the end, put the 4 pieces there, just pieces of tool steel out of the lathe. Smacked them in with the TIG torch and got out and got the job running. Then in the bottom drawer we've just got hammers, vice grips, homemade scraper out of a power hacksaw. Yeah, so that's for doing more like when doing after you've been welding and you've got like all your slag on top of your weld. You just come in and just chip it off and off she pops. I've seen another old guy that had one, so I copied his idea and made the same as him. We've got some nut spanners for doing the nuts on cylinders and rams. We've got a 65 and a 60 in there. Those seem to be the bigger ones that we're operating here at the moment. And just some wire cutting pliers for when you find a baler that somebody's picked up a piece of wire and it's wrapped right around the rotor. You can't get in there with a gas axe because it's still full of hay. Yeah, quite a collection of just random power tools. I started out with Don't Judge Me with Ryobi because it was the cheapest brand that I could get, and it was what was affordable for a young guy with a family to feed as well. And in all honesty, it's been pretty good. It's taken the abuse from being on site. Like this rattle gun was drowning on top of a job we were doing the other day, and it still seems to go, which is just amazing. There was water pouring right out the back of it, and even with their drills, when I've been working on the ship, had water running, like salt water running through the drill, and then you just wash it out with brake clean and lift it back in the side of the truck, and it's good to go.
Real quick, trusted by mechanics around the world, Mueller Coop's products are available for purchase at FortisHC.com. Whether it's the wrench extender, carbide scrapers, or even breaker bars, make sure to check them out. Thanks, Mueller. Now back to the video.
So around the back, we've got a petrol-given compressor and tank and airline. Haven't finished setting everything up yet, but that's going to get a reel and we'll get all that sorted out. And as you can see, we've got the big Chooch here, the big Chooch, and also a hard face dead blow hammer. This is awesome. And you can kill anything you want to. Look at that, just ripped it open. Around this side is where all the oil sort of stuff is. Got these Pertec plugs, which these are a godsend when you're out on site. Rubber plugs, got all the sizings on them. Just push them in, you can screw them in, thread them in. You can use them as flange caps. So they've got an indent in the end so they can be used for both JIC and BSP. You just whack them in, stop a leak. You can't obviously run the machine with them, but they stop oil running all over the customer's yard. Electrical fittings, electrical crimps, fuses. I know where everything is, that's the thing. Been doing it for so long. We have a 3/4 drive 1,000 foot-pound torque wrench. So that's the one to use when we're doing wheels and tyres and anything big. That one was $1,800 New Zealand. So it's a break and half job. Get the torque up and let you know when you're set to go. Brazing rods for the gas plant. It's normally on the truck, so there's nothing we can't sort of fix on site. Hate going to site and having to drive back to town. Metric tap and die set. It goes from M6 right up to M18. Another Ryobi thing, grease gun. Nobody likes using a hand grease gun anymore. Cable lug crimps, for crimping on new lugs on the end of your battery leads. Oh, that has been in hell. There's a funny story about this. So I actually found these at the local salt mine in the middle of the haul road. I was driving along and I'd just seen this little shiny piece sticking out of the ground. Dug them out and like they'd been driven over I don't know how many times. But anything down there is, you're there for a week and your tools just start turning rusty. But still works. It's a testament to that. More welded up tools. So this is a 57mm socket for doing the yoke on a Champion grader to do the diff seal. So I had to weld that up. There wasn't enough length in it to get it over the nut. So that runs on my Milwaukee 3/4 rattle gun. So it just plugs in on there with a 3/4 to 1 inch adapter. Yeah, it's huge, eh? And then we've got a 2.5 inch socket, so that's for doing the other end. And they all just run up on there. Here's probably one of the most expensive tools on the truck. So this is a hydraulic flow meter. So you plug this online on the back of a tractor or whatever you're working on. It goes up to 200 litres a minute. Plug it in line. You've got a gauge for back pressure and your flow, your litres per minute, and also a temperature reading on it. You just wind the spool valve up and set your pressure. So that costs $5,000 New Zealand. Yeah, that's normal for here. It's like specialty stuff in New Zealand is real expensive. For like stuff you could probably get in the States for a lot cheaper, we're paying through the nose here. Got a 1.5 tonne come along. So that goes everywhere with us because you never know when you're going to need to lift something out. Plenty of chains, strops, all sorts of carry on just sitting in here. As you can see, for everything to fit everything in such a small unit, you have to jam it in tight. This is like my go-to pry bar for everything, and it's just a fork tine off a hay tine off a tractor, but you can beat the hell out of it, hook it into things, have the come along on the end of it. So a lot of our other branding of tools here is Toledo, which is probably like a Chinese sort of brand. That's just a 3/4 drive strong arm bar. But I've had this bar with that come along on the end of it, and the bar's been bent like a banana, just trying to get bolts undone on a hay baler. A lot of my stuff is in ammo cases, so if we go around the back side here, there's pretty much everything you need to hook in line. So all sorts of elbows, hydraulic fittings, hydraulic test gauges. If you have a look in there, there's a bit of everything. We even used that to hook up the big Chooch before. Got this test gauge here. Hydraulic testing is just one thing you really need to use. These gauges will save your life. I bought this one 2-3 years ago, and they go up to 8,600 psi. You can hook them into anything. Like I've been using them for doing back pressure readings on load sensing circuits, where we've had faults with a baler not sending a high enough load sensing reading back to the tractor, so the load sensing circuit's not working. Whereas with a normal gauge, you won't read it, you won't read the spike, but this will read a minimum and maximum, so at least you can read that it's hit that point. Assortments of parts, so we cover a broad range of equipment here. So these are flow meters for grape sprayers, just like the one over there, and so that's a low flow meter, because you'll be reading down to like 50 litres per minute spraying on your crop. Replacement valve cartridges, and a high flow meter. So these little pumps here, I know it's a Ryobi, but we hook that up with these hoses, and they're supposed to be a water pump, but we've been pumping everything through this. Diesel, hydraulic fluid, gear oil. It doesn't like gear oil when it's cold, but like 85 140 it doesn't like, but if it's warm enough and it's nice, like in the middle of summer, you can pump 85 140. Like I'm actually amazed at what it will do. It's sitting there grinding away, just and then diesel, like even we've pumped petrol through it just to try and clean it out. And yeah, you'd be amazed at what you can do with it. It sure beats the hell out of using one of these pumps in a drum in the middle of winter, trying to pump oil out of a container. This is the pretty much the end of the tour on my service shoot. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment below, and give the page a like and follow, and we'll see you on the next one.